Hello, my motor enthusiasts. Turning the gears of the rumor mill today is Red Bull Racing's mystery regarding their lineup for the 2024 season. Directly contradicting team boss Christian Horner's claims, Max Verstappen has stirred the pot by revealing that his teammate's seat is yet to be confirmed. Despite Horner's insistence on Sergio Perez retaining his spot, Verstappen's comments suggest an air of uncertainty. Red Bull's ruthless reputation with its drivers, as seen with Daniel Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, and Alex Albon, is raising eyebrows. Will the tide turn for Perez, especially after his crash at the Mexican Grand Prix? Will the successful Daniel Ricciardo return to Red Bull from AlphaTauri, despite his diplomatic stance? The finishing flag is yet to be waved, so keep your engines running with us. Right, enough of the formalities. Hello, I'm your petrol-headed host, Enzo, always here to keep you in the fast lane of the Formula One world, on the one and only F1 Motor Fever podcast. With me, as always, is the eagle-eyed, eloquent William, our resident commentator and sharer of hot takes.
Always a pleasure, Enzo. Fired up and ready to dive into today's topic. It's a bit of a curveball, isn't it?
Absolutely, William. You won't believe the twists and turns we're about to navigate. And remember, folks, your support fuels our podcast, so we'd appreciate if you'd subscribe, turn on those notifications, leave a comment, and share the love with your friends and family. Let's keep our Formula One community growing.
That's it. We can't do it without you, folks.
So, with that said, are you ready to delve into the world of Red Bull Racing's 2024 lineup and the speculated turbulence therein? I guarantee you, it's more exciting than a last lap overtake. Full throttle, everyone. So, the pot is certainly stirring in the Red Bull kitchen. Despite team boss Christian Horner's insistence on Sergio Perez's contract for 2024, there appears to be an air of uncertainty clouding the horizon. It's not the first time we've seen such ruthlessness from Red Bull Racing, is it?
Indeed, you're quite right. Daniel Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, they've all felt the bitter sting of Red Bull's quick decision-making. Driver choices in Formula One have always been brutal, and Red Bull has been the most unforgiving of all the modern teams.
It's a harsh reality for many drivers. And let's not forget the Mexican Grand Prix, where Perez's catastrophic error in judgment may have jeopardized his position further.
Absolutely, a real nail-biter. On the other hand, Daniel Ricciardo shone brightly, qualifying his AlphaTauri 4th and finishing 7th, quite a feat considering the car's performance this season. That move alone strengthened AlphaTauri's position in the championship and potentially filled Red Bull's coffers with additional prize money.
Ricciardo's certainly earning his keep and making a case for himself, isn't he? Though speaking ahead of the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, he's been keen to downplay rumors of an immediate upgrade to Red Bull Racing.
True, he's maintained that his contract discussions have been solely related to AlphaTauri. But as we've seen, the tides of Formula One can change rapidly. A successful weekend, like the one Ricciardo had in Mexico, can do wonders for a driver's prospects.
Moving on to the Brazilian Grand Prix, we experienced the growing rift between Verstappen and Perez. The tension was palpable, with Verstappen's firm refusal to let Perez through to chase second place in the Drivers' Championship. He even went public over team radio, demanding not to be asked such a question again.
Although that was a tense moment, I'd argue it also points to Verstappen's competitive spirit. He's focused on his performance, as he should be. And with Lewis Hamilton closing the gap to Perez by 19 points at the Mexico City Grand Prix, it's quite a crucial time for the team.
You have a point, but it's a team sport, isn't it? And let's not forget, Red Bull has yet to claim a 1-2 in the driver standings. But Verstappen did suggest that the decision on Perez's future as a Red Bull driver remains undecided.
Yes, and despite the competitive nature of the sport, Verstappen spoke quite positively about both Perez and Ricciardo. He's keeping an open mind, and we should too.
I see where you're coming from. But to me, it feels like there's more to this than what's being said in public.
That could be the case, but it's also important to consider the context and the pressures of the sport. Differing viewpoints are normal and can lead to a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play.
You've given me something to ponder. I may not fully agree, but there's merit in your perspective.
And that's exactly how it should be, open to different viewpoints, yet standing by our own. It keeps the discussion alive and dynamic.
Indeed. As we steer through this Formula One season, I'll certainly keep an open mind. Christian Horner, Red Bull's team boss, has had to address the media's queries about Checo's position for 2024. He sounded a bit irritated, but emphasized that there's never been a discussion about it. The team's focus, he stated, is on achieving that elusive 1-2 finish they've never had before.
And that's an important goal for them. However, the stark reality is that with Verstappen's current dominance, the issue of who drives alongside him could become almost irrelevant.
That's a valid point. And let's not forget, in the harsh light of Perez's performance up against Verstappen, Alex Albon seemed to have fared pretty well as Max's former teammate.
Yes, hindsight can often shed new light on past circumstances. If things get tight and Red Bull needs more than 30% of their total points coming from the second driver, Perez might find himself in a precarious position.
It appears so. And Max believes the decision on who drives with him at Red Bull for 2024 is not yet settled. There's a possibility, as certain reports suggest, that the pressure is on Checo to retire rather than face the sack.
As always, only time will tell how these dynamics will unfold. For now, it's all speculation and posturing, but it certainly makes for an intriguing Formula One season.
William, have you had a gander at what the good folks of the internet are saying lately?
Oh, I sure have, Enzo. We have a post here from one Harry Slowly, and he asks, quote, "A year after Russell's first F1 win, has he fallen victim to the Hamilton effect?" unquote.
Oh, that's a hot topic. What are folks saying in response?
Well, a certain Tony Bone comments, quote, "Combination of him not being comfortable with the current car and Lewis just being a step above in terms of pace and racecraft. George is a good driver but just needs to be more consistent. A lot of his flubs this year have been self-inflicted," unquote.
Interesting. Anyone else chimed in?
Indeed, a user named Kenny Lagerins adds, quote, "Looking past the whole, Bono, my tires are gone thing, Lewis has always been one of, if not the best at managing his tires," unquote.
Ah, the old tire management debate. And what does the peanut gallery have to say about that?
A fellow by the name of Ron Desai quips, quote, "Nobody believes Lewis's, my tires are dead. Lewis, my tires are dead, Lewis fastest lap. George, my tires are dead, George in the wall," unquote. Meanwhile, a gentleman named Eggplantosaur cheekily remarks, quote, "Hamilton really returned to his old self in Mexico. 30 laps on mediums, this is going to be a tough stint. My tires are gone." And then he set the fastest lap. 2021 Hamilton is back, you heard it here first, unquote.
Well, no shortage of opinions out there, eh? Seems like our listeners are just as split as the general populace. Keep those comments coming, folks, they certainly add an extra dash of spice to our discussions. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us on this episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast, where we dug deep into the hullabaloo surrounding the future of Checo and Russell's performances this year. We're grateful to have you as part of our racing community. Remember to subscribe and nudge that notification bell so you'll always be in the know when we hit the airwaves. If you enjoyed our chat today, don't be shy to share us with your friends, your family, your race-loving neighbor, or even the barista at your favorite coffee shop. Liked what you heard? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section.
Absolutely, Enzo. And hey, even if you didn't like it, tell us why in the comments, we're always keen on improving. Just keep it civil, we're all racing enthusiasts here. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode full of twists, turns, and possibly a bit of tire screeching. You don't want to miss it, we've got some thrilling content rounding the bend.
Absolutely, William. We can't wait to have you all join us again. Until then, keep your eyes on the prize and your hearts in the race. And as we always say here at F1 Motor Fever podcast, Enzo and William together, pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold.